Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. Host Kelly Brickle is a psychic medium healer, numerologist, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there's always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Psychic Hour on WLTK-DB Let's Talk Radio. Welcome. We're doing another reading show. So we had Debbie on for Wednesday, and we did like a tag team, and we had a lot of fun with that. And then we're doing a reading show today because we always do one solo. Hello, Casey. Hello, Courtney. And we'll start about, 10 minutes-ish from now. I talk for a little bit. And so just pop down your numerology numbers or ask for a reading. Say I'd like a reading. We're doing card readings and we're doing numerology today and like psychic readings too as well. So it's always fun. And the topic that I really want to dive into to open up the energy, hello, Maria, is the energy of knowing your like body and knowing your emotional aura. Okay, so the aura deals with so many different layers. In fact, there's often classes that I teach about it. And our aura is our overall energy that's housed in our body. So it's very much responsible for our physical vitality, our emotions, our thoughts, our spiritual experiences, are like the collective and the energy that we are is like our signature, and the aura highlights that. So the aura can get very complex, but it's very beautiful. But it's usually seen in its simplicity with color or felts, even though there's many layers. And at its simplest, because it's very powerful if you understand the aura in simple terms. It's very like if more than just if you're thinking about color, like, oh, I can see a color. I mean, that's really powerful too. But um, if you can just do small things with the understanding of your aura, you have a tremendous amount of help in your corner because you have body awareness. Like the energy body is equal to the physical body because the physical body is the energy body. And so if you can just at basic, whether it's checking with your emotions or your thoughts or your plans or your goals, and I feel like it's good to talk about in January because we're like doing this check-in, like, what's my new goal? Who do I want to be? Or like this new year, like it's like a fresh start. Everyone has that fresh start energy. And whether it's something that you're doing every day, because I want you to think about that too. The things that we do every day, they're still part of our goals. Are they our conscious goals? Are they our subconscious goals? The things we do every day, we might love them or not like them. We might be thinking they're mundane, but your energy is geared up, ready to go every day for those goals. So are they in harmony with who you are as a soul? And that on the basic level, depending on how much energy you have behind that goal. Does that goal get you out of bed in the morning? You're just like, I want to do this. I want to do this. Does it get you out of bed in the morning and make you feel like, I'm doing this again? And why is it that? Why is it that enthusiasm or depletion? Have you been taking care of yourself? Do you just really not like what you're doing? Does it give you, that recharge of passion in your life? And those are the things that we have to feel within our body, our energetic body, because those are the answers. Like when someone's doing a reading, like so like a psychic reading is tuned into the person's life, is tuned into the person's aura. And we can tell if somebody is enthusiastic about something or drained about something because of the energy within their aura. So if if you can feel that and acknowledge it and not just think it's subtle, like, oh yeah, just sometimes I don't like it, I guess it's all right. If you can make that distinction for yourself, you're actually like reading your own energy, and you're doing you're doing analysis and understanding of yourself in a way where you don't have to pay a reader to do that on some level. Because some people, go to readers and they don't have calibration of what they want, what they need. And so to start to do that, that's a huge game changer. And then if you can dive in deeper, and I'm sure some of you have heard some of these exercises, like when we think of a situation in our life where is, let's say, a situation in our life that we're looking to understand more of. Where does that situation, when you think about it, hit your body? So some people, like when they think about something that they're working on, it's usually a struggle or something they can't understand completely, or they want more clarity. Could be negative or positive, with how it's affecting your life. Um, People will feel in their body where that issue surfaces within them. So it's like, oh, it's in my head, or I feel weight within my heart, or my arms feel heavy, or my waist feels tight, my feet feel like jittery, right? And then you go into the body area of where that is holding, and you go, okay, I'm going to learn about myself. Well, it's the same way with the aura. If you have excitement or depletion, where is that? Is all of a sudden, does your neck get tight? Does your heart feel tight? Think about all these tactile feelings. And it's not just about your body. It's never just ever about your body. Your body highlights what your energy is doing. So if you have a relationship with yourself, it's not like, okay, hi body, I can control you. It's, hi, I have immense wisdom over how I'm navigating my life. Hi, I'm not reactive, and I'm not subjective to what's happening, and I'm just the situation of the accumulation, and I'm sitting here with a question mark. No, you have actual answers. And energy readers, they really highlight and pick up on these things. They're like, "Oh, your back is stiff," or like, "Oh god, you have energy stuck within your ears." Like they look at that stuff, and it's all connected to how you're conducting your life. Whether, your environment that's not healthy for you, or that you could be just not completely congruent with the choices that you're making. So I want to offer that up. And when you look at it as tending to your aura, not just tending to your body, the way that it works for you really changes and becomes much more profound. So I want to put that out there for you to think about. Do a body scan and understand it as pure energy, and your body is a part of that pure energy, rather than, hey, my body's feeling a certain way and my emotions are feeling a certain way. No, everything's connected. Everything is connected. You know, it's like, if you're catching your emotions, that is like an eye of the same animal. It's not just, okay, we have a zebra over here, a gorilla over here, and a fish over there. And I just looked at the zoo of who I am, and all these animals are getting rowdy, right? No, you're looking at yourself, and you have the eye of a scale, a hand, right? It's all part of the same body. It's all part of the same body, our energy body. So analogies, they're so fun. Let's jump into readings in a moment. And so to give you an idea, too, if you want a numerology reading, put down your birth date. If you're from the UK, or outside the United States, just make the distinction, your month versus your day. Sometimes it's very obvious to see that distinction because, there's not 22 months within a year, things like that. And um, yeah, that's how we'll do it. You can ask one question. And there's something else I wanted to say on that. I think it just flew out of my head, and that's okay if it happens. Um, yeah, maybe we'll come back. Okay. So we're gonna dive in a moment. Oh, that's what I want to say. Also, you can ask questions here about like your spiritual development or about energy or about things that you've been working on or dreams. We just talk about energy here. Okay. Numbers. I remember a lot of people, we had a reading show actually on Wednesday, and we had so many people drop in, which was great that we didn't have a chance to answer all the questions. So if there's questions here, happy to dive in. Okay. So I'm saying hi to Jessie Cat, Angela, Tiara, Courtney, Cara. Hello, everybody. And let's start from the top. Okay, so I'll pull some cards for you, Casey. Someone says our inside shelf. Charge or change your batteries. Yeah, absolutely. Like in terms of our energy, we can honestly recharge and change our batteries in just a matter of minutes. Sometimes it depends on the day. It really does. Sometimes it's an hour. But sometimes you can recharge yourself in 5 minutes, and that is real. That's not something that's like, oh, must be nice. No, if you know yourself very well and how to even out your energy, you can direct your energy to open up and release like physical pain, emotional weight, brain fog. It's just a matter of will you give that to yourself? Because I know when I'm in a brain fog, the first thing I'm not thinking about is always what can I give to myself? My brain is in a fog. It's not an awareness. It's not an awareness. So I'm not going to be thinking straight. So I don't go. I My number one default when I'm not in alignment is let's go back to alignment. You're in an alignment. You're gonna do things that are not in alignment. Does that make sense? So if you have the mastery and you have the discipline, and it takes dedication, it really does take dedication, and it becomes a tool within your life and a mastery point in your life. If you actually can go, I'm this, but I'm an alchemist and I get to change this and I have the power to change this, which is incredibly an option, you can do it. So I do know what it feels like to be out of alignment, and I do help myself accordingly, but every time, no, not every time. I'm always working on how I can do so more and more and more and more, and find that inner peace no matter what the obstacle. Okay. All right. So we're going to dive in. Casey, I'm going to pull some cards for you. I'm seeing if there's any. Okay. And then pop down your comments if you're still in the room, if you're still in vicinity, because I talk with you, I touch base. And sometimes it's about your reading. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So with Casey, what's coming up is being in touch with your emotions on a more intimate level. That's very important here. That's what I'm seeing as I'm pulling the cards. And I was kind of talking about that earlier to highlight some of those things. We are very much our emotions, but we're not just our emotions. But if we are denying one part of ourselves, then we are still denying ourselves. It's all connected. It's not just one part that I can function and be awesome and just I'm not going to look that way, you know? Um so it's really, really important to dive in deeper with these emotions that you have surfacing, and not just feel them, but understand them, because we feel things and we go, okay, great. Yeah. Okay. let's get that out of my system, or let's just move on. And it's just like, do you do you know why they surfaced? And maybe at one level you do, but then once you get that answer, do you know what that's connected to? And do you know what then that's connected to? Do you know where that anger is coming from? Do you know where that sadness is coming from? Oh, yes, this and this and this. Well, do you know who started that and the inception of this and the origin of that? And when you get deep enough to some of those answers, you understand that the origin points, actually, a lot of it don't have to do with you, but you are reacting to what is around you and has been with you, because we are gifted trauma from other people. We are gifted energies that, let's say, are very familiar. It's not like we're like, where did this come from? They're actually incredibly familiar, but they didn't come from ourself. In fact, very few energies that we carry that are hard or heavy are our own. Some of them are our own. Some of them we can take responsibility for the inception of, but a lot of them are shared. A lot of them are incredibly shared. And so when you know them and identify them and go, oh my gosh, this comes from my mom, this comes from my dad, this comes from my husband, this comes from my neighbor, it comes from my coworker, right? This makes me feel a certain way. It's very hard, it makes me feel a certain way, but this has nothing to do with me. You understand the compassion of it. And so what it does have to do with you is when it hits you, you release it. When it hits you, you go, wow, I have the awareness to know I don't need to take this on. So it actually does take a lot of work to work with the awareness of and let it go and breathe and find what your body does when it takes it on, or when it has the power to actually repel, or to protect, or to say, I'm gonna sidestep this one, right? This doesn't have to do with me. And so in order to actually not absorb it, because I think that's the intention of most people. Okay. And as I look at like the cards, I'm looking at this, and that's why I'm talking about it. I think the intention of most people is not to absorb emotions, because we're like, why would I want to deal with that? And that's exactly right. But the misconception is, since we don't want to absorb or take it on, um, then we ignore it because we're like, that's not mine. That's not mine. And it's like, in order to actually not absorb it, you have to actually be so aware and observant of what is around you. So you know actually how to bypass it. And so if we're not aware of it, we can actually absorb it even more easily. But I'm gonna say it more gently and more specifically. When we are not aware of emotional energy around us, we are probably going to pick it up. Because, like, if we can't see, I'm going to do a metaphor. If we can't see where mud is, and let's say it's dark and we just are walking, and it's a little muddy outside, it's been raining, we're probably going to step in some mud if it's pitch dark, because we don't know how to avoid the mud, even though we don't want mud on our shoes. Okay. So the awareness, the light of our consciousness and the light of our spirit, it navigates us so we don't step into mud. But the catch is, you have to be actually aware of the emotions. So you have to be feeling and connected to sadness. You have to be connected to anger. You have to be connected to your stuff. So you go, wow, I'm familiar with it. Now I get to choose. So that gives you the power to choose. All right. So I'm giving you the reminder and the encouragement of, it's really important to dive deep into your emotions, the anger, the sadness, things that are coming up, and starting to understand, where did this come from, and to understand what's yours and what's not yours, and to actually make very conscious decisions. But you have to actually feel these things, and then once you feel them, it's funny. Once you feel them, you'll actually have the key to feeling less if you want to avoid that. You'll still feel, you have to feel, but once you feel, you give yourself the choice if you want to go, yeah, this is not healthy for me. Okay. So it's the complementary nature. In order to actually make the decision not to feel, you have to fully feel. Okay. It's funny like that. And so we're getting into the Master Your Own Fate card. That comes up so often. It's so interesting how everyone's like taking hands of their lives really right now, which is incredibly wonderful. And we get into love and refocusing the mind and confidence and everything I talked about with the feeler card and getting in touch with your emotions. It's about this will give you immense confidence in your life, immense confidence, an immense spiritual not only like leadership within your life and actually other people's around you, but that that sense of peace which gives you that confidence because you're so I just feel Casey you're so sensitive and so sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming the sensitivities or you just don't know what to do so you don't speak up as much because you're sensitive and I get it there's a lot coming your way but to do and navigate with those capabilities. When we have capabilities within ourselves, we don't try to turn them down. We actually work with them and we go, "Ah, that's who I am. That's who I am. Wow, this is the mastery of who I am. I'm navigating these specific functions that I have." So I want to give you confidence with that. And to do that, yes, to refocus the mind, you actually will have to work with your emotions. In this case, your emotions are the direct link to the quelling and cooling of your mind, which will help balance out your body a lot and how you feel in it. So it's going to be a lot of patience with yourself and a lot of love work and compassion for yourself and others. And that's what's really coming up immensely strong as I pull those cards. You're welcome, Casey. Okay. So then let's see who's next. Angela is next. And okay, let's pull your numbers. Oh, cool. There's 2 people who have the same birthday. How very cool. I'm, like, looking at the comments. Um, I love it. There's always connectors in numerology. Okay, so I'm pulling up Angela's numbers. Let's get them going. She's an attitude 3, she's a personal day 4, and she is a life path 5. Let's double check that. Mhm. Yep, that's right. Okay, and you are in a cycle of 1 right now. Okay, cool. So these numbers that I'm pulling up for you, they're really good. They're really good. Um, one is all about a fresh slate energy. And you have so much that has led up to this point where you actually feel much more in control of your life than you ever have before. And so it's not just a notion of like, I'm woman, hear me roar. It's actually, there's been a lot of things leading up to that, like a lot of peace within your life, or a lot of hard work has paid off, or, like things are aligning where you go, okay, like I can see the forest through the trees. And this year will very much be like that. And so it's just a reminder to stay true to your confidence of things that will happen. It's going to be okay no matter what. And stay true to the fact that it's okay if there's peaks and valleys. The overall year is the fresh slate. I don't care if 1 week is really not that or 1 month is really not that. This whole year is a fresh slate, and you have to feel that and lean into that because that's the overall theme. Okay, so this month for instance is a 2, and the 2 is very emotional. It can feel sometimes overwhelming with how emotional it is, right? You're like, it's just like I'm looking for new year and I just feel crummy, or I just feel just it's like I have this stuff just swirling within me. Where's that chutzpah? Where's that go energy, right? And that's okay because the emotional energy is the theme for the month, but it's not the theme for the year. So next month you're in a new energy theme, but the overall theme, excuse me, is that new identity you get to cultivate within yourself and have confidence and power behind. So this month is truly about going within and understanding yourself on a deeper level. And we need this because when we're triggered going forward, we go, oh, I made peace with myself in that capacity. And that doesn't um you know overhaul, I guess that's the word, that doesn't overhaul or detract me like it once did. I know I've done all this work, and my life is that goal to not have things detract me when I'm triggered, but yeah, I'm able to see it in a more profound way. And so actually in January, even though I wasn't as productive maybe as I would like, I actually needed that. I actually needed that. So, what you perceive as losses or you perceive as frustrations are actually huge wins if you lean into them. They're tools that will actually give you what you need to succeed. You just have to go, yep, this came up for a reason. This came up for a reason. So it's the reminder of that with what's going on this month and just to smile through it because you're going to get right back on track. February is a great month for you. You're in the energy of three and your attitude is three. And so 3 months, you have a chance for opportunity, you have a chance for things being easy with socializing, connecting, getting ideas off the ground. So I think you'll feel more of that new year, okay, in February. So just heads up with that. And it's a really good time to just job hop right now. Job hop. And that energy will be better for you in February, March, and April. So March especially. I like February a lot too, don't get me wrong, but March is a really good time. So maybe that's like when the inception of the job takes full swing. But March is a very good time to like relocate and have like kind of a new era within your job. You're a life path 5, and so that's like always really important to acknowledge. You need to change career to advance yourself. You're not one track with your career trajectory. You need to go and try different jobs, stimulate different skills, and not be bored. And that's really, really important for how you conduct yourself and feel alive. So I'm going to give that to you, Angela, and I'm going to scroll down. Hello, Stephanie. It's great to see you. Oh, I guess we have the numbers questions. I'll go to that in a moment. So sometimes people pop in and pop out. So Angela, if you are in the house, you can pop down. Okay, cool, cool, cool. She says it makes sense. Yay for fresh starts. Yeah, like there's cycles in numerology. Okay. And we have cycles every 9 years. There's also other cycles that correspond with that. But every 9 years, we get like this kind of upgrade within our energy where it all comes together. And so sometimes before that new cycle starts, there are things we want to implement within our lives. And the world goes, yeah, sorry, we're not going to make it easy. You might want it, but we're not going to make it easy. No, 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 no. And then when we reach our full cycle, that intention that we had maybe 5 years ago, it's funny because with our clean slate energy, the board is just wide open and situations go, yeah, sure. You wanted to do that? Sure, let's make it happen. Sure, why not? You wanted to do that last cycle and you're in this cycle, so the rules don't apply. So sure, try it in this cycle. And it's just it's far easier. Okay. So when rectifying the past and healing the past, know that the rules are not the same. Okay. So cultivate. Cultivate. Um Okay, so people are having some questions about numbers. I always like to take that. Stephanie says I keep seeing 111, and Courtney says 222. Does it mean anything? So when we're seeing repeating numbers, they're also master vibrations. People ask like, "Oh, what are master vibrations?" They're repeating numbers, and so numbers that repeat are built up energy because the point that they have come to meet you at, whether it's 122 or 111, right? There had to have been the exact orchestration for those numbers to line up where they are all connected at that time. Like, like 333 only happens once a day. Is that right? No, it happens twice a day. I'm so sorry. Happens twice a day, and in the AM and the PM. Okay, so you have only two chances to catch it. 333, and so your consciousness has to be geared up to say to yourself, "Hey, this is a really important sign for me, help me find it." And so your consciousness goes, okay, I'm going to take that directive. We are online. What else would you like to manifest? Or what happens is like spirits or the universe, like really catches our attention in a magical moment. So we go, whoa, and it's like we're not doing it. Someone will tap us on the shoulder to look on the clock. Someone will message us at 3:33, right? So it's like partly we're doing it and also partly something bigger than ourselves is doing it with all this manifestation and magic when it comes to certain symbols that come up within the universe on our journey. And so the 111s is the energy of one, and then whatever energy it's built up with. So if you have a 111, three ones, 1 + 1 + 1 is three. So you're going to be working with energy of three, but also the master vibration of one and three because it's three ones, right? If you have two ones, right? If you have an 11, you're in the master vibration of the one and the two because 1 + 1 is two. And it's like that with any number. So one is all about, I've been talking about it just a moment ago. It's all about new beginnings. And when you have multiple ones, it's like doorways opening. It's like, okay, it's here. Will you step through the door? Will you step through the door? And it's like this. When I see ones, recharges me, and I feel like I have this fresh charge ready to go to get me from A to B. I go, okay, all systems go. The way is clear. The door is wide open. No blockages. That's how I feel for me. Okay. But a lot of people feel very similar. And a lot of times it's just open energy, ready to go. You're going to walk through doors. It's right. Take it. Open doors. Okay. Someone is asking for the 222. Does it mean anything? Yeah. So two is the energy of emotion, um, emotional sensitivity. It's a very psychic number. It's a very intuitive number, and it deals with you and another because there's two of you, right? The energy of two, you plus another. And so when you have a lot of twos, it's about working through emotional energy and being empathetic and being compassionate. It deals with a lot of emotions that have to do with making peace with where you're at so you can use all that emotional energy to your benefit. If you have high emotional energy, it can make you feel really topsy turvy in a wreck. But if you actually lean into it and make peace with it and work with it, it actually can be tremendous power within the empathy with how you understand people and work with people and connect to people and help to heal people and also to help to heal yourself. Okay. It's a two-way street, literally. And so if you have multiple twos, you're going to get an additional number. So someone asked 2, that's four twos. When you do 2 + 2 + 2 + 2 + 2, or 2 times 4, you get 8. So you're going to be with 2 and 8, the vibration of. And the vibration of 8 is all about abundance. It's all about truth with how it sits in the body, and also like what you reap is what you sow. So it's also about standing in your own power. It really is. So concepts of that. Additionally, I always highlight because, I talked about the universe works with your own soul, but it works with something greater than yourself. So when our own soul and our higher self and consciousness is in the mix, sometimes we have specially assigned those numbers to us, whether we have a favorite number or like an address growing up, or we just really like certain numbers. Those become our signs too as well. And yeah, those numbers that we choose have certain numerological energy, but they also have tremendous emotional energy. Okay. And so the both of those reasons would go into play if you really assign a symbol to yourself and personalize it as well. Okay. So One is next, I believe. Let me see if I didn't jump. Think. Oh, we have. Yeah, I start to jump. So I'll go back up to the top, but I'm taking One next. And all right. She's giving me her numbers, so let's go and get them. Okay. All right, just doing the math. So One, you're a personal day 3, you're an attitude 2, and you are a life path 3. You're in a cycle of 9. Okay. And that would mean, yep. Okay, cool. So for One, this year is going to be very busy. This year is going to involve a lot of change. It's You're in a cycle of 9, so it's like we talked about before. 1 is beginnings, 9 is endings, and so we're in a cycle of 9. A lot of things will just come up and surface. Some that we're ready for because we're like, okay, I feel like I can deal with this now, and other things where it will blindside you, and you're like, I thought this was going to be easier. I didn't think this was going to happen quite like this. And 9 is meant to challenge you to release, and 9 is meant to send you forward with not actually stopping or giving you much time to think. It's like we got to keep giving you things to move you forward so you can get and release and go and not hold back. So it's always a very, very busy year within a 9 cycle. Usually you have energy that would help create a lot of movement within that. And when there's a cycle of 9, there is the concept of transformation and death. So you can sometimes lose close loved ones around that time. And it could be an animal, it could be a passing of a pet. It is an indication sometimes when people are older, what happens is you finish your cycle with them too as well. So think about it like that rather than anything like just super immediate. I just want to give you the perspective of that. Okay. It's just your cycles come to a close. So I don't want to freak anyone out when I talk about death. Yes, things do happen. This is life, but it's more about I want you to focus on if someone is older, some of these cycles are coming to a close. Okay. Um, and you're a very sensitive person. You're a very sensitive person, and to like lean into taking breaks for yourself. Okay. You have a double 3, and your life path is actually most auspicious when you're around people. It's in order to be yourself and to do well in your career, or to feel like you are really like on fire. You need a degree of being in front of other people, using your voice, using your talents, lifting others up. um, you're the type of person that needs to be in front of others, whether it's performing, speaking, in a job sphere, it could be like even training. You have to be around others and you actually make people laugh and smile rather naturally. And you're really tuned in. You're really tuned in because that two that you have makes you really tuned into your audience on a different level than most other people. So you have the ability to really heal and perform and to really work a crowd quite beautifully. And so lean into that, please. It will provide you immense happiness. And this year, like with January feels like very good. It does feel very clean slate energy. And you're going to get into next month and it's going to be very good for you, but it's going to be emotional. So just heads up, emotional month next month. To dive deep. It's going to be good. It's going to give you a chance to have more alone time and not for it to be as crazy as busy. Take it. Take the reprieve and just go easy on yourself, okay? Because you got a lot coming up this year. It's going to be a lot of good things, though. You're going to feel like, okay, I needed that. I needed that. But it's going to be you're gonna be like, whoa, this year's a lot. So just heads up, take care of yourself, slow down, and put yourself in environments with other people. You'll get lucky. Okay, let's go. I'm scrolling down to the bottom. Okay, cool, Angela. Thank you, Angela. And then let's see. I had another name I was going to choose right after. Scrolling. Okay. Courtney. Okay. So, Courtney, you are next. Okay. Cool. So, Courtney, you are an attitude 3, your personal day 4, and you are a life path 6, and you are in a cycle of 1 as well. Isn't that fun? So, Courtney, some of the things that I said for Angela can apply to you because you have the same birthday, but your life path is going to be different. And if we went deeper into your charts, like if I pulled up your name, for instance, it would be actually quite different with what your needs are. Okay, so numerology gets more complicated um, if you're just focusing on one person. But for quick reads and the energy of the year, you'll actually have incredibly similar themes. It's like very, very fun actually. If you have someone with a similar birthday, with the same numbers or the exact birthday with the same numbers, your year will actually go very, very similar. Like you'll be dealing with the same things, like talk to those people. You'll feel like you're not alone, like ever, because when things are hard, it'll be hard for you. When things are easy, it'll be easy for them. Unless you have some other very big changes within your chart from 1 to 1. It's funny how that goes. So, okay. For Courtney, okay. So, attitude 3. So, attitude 3, I always like to talk about if you find yourself like just effortlessly talking, if you find yourself in a place where you feel so fun and natural with another person, it's a huge sign that that person's energy is good to be around. I say that especially for people with attitude 3 because they're at their most free and fluid and most like themselves when they have someone with them that makes them feel that way. Okay. So some attitude 3s are very naturally outgoing, some are actually a little bit more introverted. And it doesn't matter like if you're extremely introverted or extremely extroverted. When you feel like you can talk to a person for an hour, that's a very special sign in that placement because that's your truest self. Okay. So you'll know it. You'll know it because it's easy for you to talk an hour if you feel a certain way, but if you feel that way immensely with the person, it lets you know that that person naturally can be your friend, or within a job setting, be around that person more. Your energy plays off one another, and it's just a very easy sign to make life even easier. Okay. And it lets you know like where people's intentions are with you too at times. So just heads up, heads up. You have the personal day 4 number. So people like sometimes can feel your seriousness on first meeting. They can feel that, you're either a researcher, a little studious, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that's the entirety of you, but that's how people feel when they first meet you, that you're actually a little serious, but then they're pleasantly surprised to feel that you're actually quite witty and fun too, especially when you open up. So your life path is a 6. So I highly recommend, it's really important that you're in a role where you're taking care of others, or that you're in some type of role where when you're working really hard, that you have the ability to be seen. Okay, because life path 6 is go above and beyond. 6 is a very responsible number, it's a very protective maternal number. So they'll show up and they'll be immensely generous with their time, with their skills. If they believe in a person, a company, or a cause, immensely generous. And so just put yourself in a situation where you can be seen, so people go, wow, like, thank you, you're great at what you do, let me give you a raise, let me give you a promotion. Like, you have to be getting back as much as you give. And if you're not putting yourself in situations to be seen, you'll be very frustrated because you give so very much. In fact, like, it's important to talk about that, because the 6 energy, especially mixed with the 3, they will always give so much, and they don't think like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. It's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, but not everyone is going to do that way. And since you put out so much energy, you have to be compensated. Other people aren't going about work, projects, love, and family that way. You have to be compensated. You have to find people who are worthy of that time. You have to find friends that are worthy of that time. You have to be with family that honors who you are. You got to find the good ones, and then you hold them tight, you hold them dear, and you protect them even more. So I want to give that energy to you, because that's very important for you being happy and fulfilled with your chart numbers. And then you're in a cycle 1, so it's good. It's like you feel the enthusiasm of the new year. Next year is going to be a little, excuse me, next month is going to be, for February, a little bit more emotional. Just know that you're working with your spirit, you're working with your soul. Things are going to be gravy, and I really like March for you. March is a great month for you. A lot of fun, a lot of luck, a lot of opportunity. So that's what comes up for you, Courtney. And she says, okay, cool. I am understood. Yes, that's right. Yes, I'm trying. Yes, just girl, don't try, just do it. I say that with compassion. The stuff that I'm working on within my own life. I go, okay, I'm just, oh, we'll try that. But it's just, we can't just try it. We gotta go. This is for me. I gotta have my back. And so I have to remove myself from situations that don't do that for me. I have to lean into situations that do that for me. And I have to intend, as I'm changing, as you're trying, as you're changing, you're intending that your energy identity works entirely different now. So you can be in the transitional state, but as you are, going, this is who I am. I'm seen. I'm rewarded because I deserve it. I put myself out there, and people who are genuine come find me, and I find people who are genuine, and I build a group of friends and family where it feels like everyone is valued and respects one another. Like, this is just what I naturally find. Like, have confidence, and it's like, this is just who I am. So yeah, like, it doesn't sometimes happen in 5 minutes, but as you go, this is who I am, as I move forward, you start attracting what you are. So, who are you? Don't try to be it, just be it. Yes, transitioning the outside, sure, getting from a new point A to point B and having something new, but you just are once you decide. It's just like, I am a person who's seen and gets compensated for it. I'm a person who finds bosses in situations where people are immensely grateful for my skills. That's just the type of person I am. I'm lucky with finding these people. So putting it out there like that. Okay, let's see. Terry Hands. I'm going to go with Terry Hands. Okay. Doing your numbers. Oh, we have another attitude 2. Beautiful. Personal day 7. And then life path 6. And then you're in a cycle of 9. Okay. So we got another cycle 9er. And so just heads up, it's going to be a lot of energy of releasing, going forward. Um, Everything that you will be doing this year is immensely beneficial to the person of power you are becoming. So sometimes we have to get hit to understand how strong we are. Okay. And we understand that that hit is nothing compared to the tremendous tenacity of our spirit and our eternalness. So that cycle 9 is about how you transform into the next phase of yourself, and transforming is evolving. Okay. Attitude 2, when someone has an attitude 2, they're very emotionally sensitive people. So I always talk about like take time for yourself. If you have to go in a different room to recharge, do it. If you have to kind of be a little bit more quiet to gather your bearings, do it. Don't let people um, force any decisions or any pressures on you with being who you are. When you find your center, you're actually very, very strong within yourself. And an attitude too, in the placement you have, it makes it a little bit harder to find one center because you're so connected to other people. You're so empathetic naturally. But the empathy makes people for being very psychic naturally. So as long as there is care, self care, and a little bit more time to focus your mind and your body and your emotions, you're actually very perceptive and you can navigate the world actually easier than other people on average. And you just can know if someone's BSing or telling a lie. You know people's intentions when you meet them on a certain degree, and that's a superpower. So I just want you to lean into that and know how you can amplify that. And then, so let me just double check. That's a 2. Yep, 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 yep. And so you're a life path 6 as well. And so when someone's a life path 6, it's all important to just make sure whatever you're putting your time in, your energy into, is well compensated, or there is gratitude within that, because 6s make life feel like family for others. Like 6 is all about creating a family, creating a space where people are honored. And when you find friends, when you find coworkers that you really like connect with, they become your family, and you treat them with generosity and you treat them as such. So you have to be in a place that cultivates that, because that's what opens your heart and makes you feel bright. So if you're not in a place within your life where you have multiple family units, or that you're connecting some of those groups that you do have your heart connected to within, it's time to start doing that, because that's what's going to make you feel like you have endless energy. When I look at your chart too, it lets me know that your energy goes up and down, because that two energy is highly sensitive. And since you're uptaking so much, what will happen, it will make you go up and down if you really don't have self-care, but that 6 that you have, 6 people are able to burn the candle at both ends. And so there's times where you have tremendous amount of energy and people are like, "How do you do it?" And then there's other times where you're just like drained and you're getting sick a little bit more often and you're like, "Why is it such the divide?" And it's just like you have numbers that really give you both. So as long as that you're taking care of yourself and you're not just jumping into things without, let's say, doing meditation before a day or checking into yourself or, you know, really honoring how you feel before you enter a room, I th and maintaining to protect, like, put up I'm a big fan of putting up shields, not because we have to, like, protect ourselves from bad stuff, it's like we just have to master our energy and what we uptake, because sometimes, like, we just as we're uptaking the world, we can't carry like 1,000 pounds on our back. And for the people who are very spongy like and absorbent and sensitive, sometimes they mistakenly and um, unknowingly take on 100 pounds on their back because they can absorb it. They're just like, oh, I see this and I feel that. And I'm aware of this and I'm aware of that, right? And then that just drags you down. So take really some self inventory and be comfortable and in your power before you go into situations, and you will find that you will maintain your energy much more easily, much more energy resistant and resilient. Okay, so Terry says yes, that will be transform. It will be a transformative year. Yes, hang on. Empath, definitely Prince of Family. Looking forward to opening a holistic healing center this year. The numbers are good for that. Um, I want to give you some advice within that. I would make the plans for it. I would make the plans for it. And I I don't know where you are because I feel like you're all in. I feel like you're all in. I don't know if you've I think you're like talking about spaces, right? So Terry, if you're on right now, just talk with me. I feel like you've looked at spaces and you're actually like incredibly serious about this. But you haven't I don't know. It's like it's really close. It's really close. It's like it's either you haven't quite signed something or like you're really it's like you're like I'm looking to sign something. I'm looking to sign something. Like it's really close. You're going to like seal the deal. Can you understand this? Um and so I've looked at spaces. Okay, okay. Because I'm aware of how quickly this can amp up. And so this year, there's so much change happening. I want you to really do a lot of um, investment in self before investment in business. And I say that because 9 is all about releasing, releasing, releasing. And it's like things will come from left field, things will come from left field. And it's like sometimes we can't catch a break and we just have to ride what's in front of us. And so if you know that and just go, whatever's gonna happen, I'm locked into this holistic center, then I'll say to you, go get them, tiger. But if you're like, how's this going to go? I would actually highly recommend next year with the business. Like you have, or it, you start late this year and then you ride that energy into next year. So I would actually, let's see, when I look at January, January, January is okay. I would hold on. So the energy is gonna really kick up in May. Like the energy is good for May if you want to make this transition. Just heads up with that. Um, and as we go into, let's see here, and it's good in June for you. Um, I would navigate it May or June if you really, really want it this year. And then I would just be happy if you put those goals more towards the back of the year if you can. But it's Like, I think you'll find a spot very easily in May and June. You could do it before that. You could do it before that. But I actually think you'd find a very harmonious spot in May or June. But then it's like the year is still going to have kind of its stressors. So just heads up with that. But if you're locked in, you're locked in, and that's fine. Like, ride the wave. I really like, though, like December, like November, December, and then it's like you just blast off next year. Next year has really good energy for you for like exploding with like your vision. So I'm giving you a heads up with that. I'm giving you just a heads up with that as I look at your energy, because when I look at people's charts, I'm aware of how certain pursuits will be easy or more difficult. And at the start of this year, I feel even though the enthusiasm is going to be there, anything before April, you're gonna find like difficulty with like traffic a little bit, like getting people in or return on investment. And there's going to be so much stuff coming up that it will kind of like multiply the stressors. Okay. Like, you have great numbers to have your own business. Like, you have a life path 6. Like, you are committed to the cause. You're committed to looking out for the other people. You are building your community. You're dialed in. I actually really love your numbers I think this is an incredibly important idea. It's just, I would wait towards May and June, and then if you wanna make it even easier, I'd go towards the end of the year, and then we explode forward. So, watch out for May and June, watch out for May and June, okay? Just heads up, heads up, heads up. Um, I've looked at spaces, I have not signed anything. I got a 1-year plan to open. Okay, good. I didn't read that. I was just going into like, you need to know what's coming up with the numbers. Okay. All right. You got a 1-year plan. Good, 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 good. All right. I was like, hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm still going through Reiki and mediumship trainings, focusing on my health this year and investing in self. Good, 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 good. I like it. Yes, please do that. I really think next year is going to be a good year for this business. I really, really do. And so May and June. So if you're not doing the business this year, May and June are really good for new projects to explode. So if you're like, I really want to do something with my Reiki or my mediumship, like, let's get myself out there a little bit, some prepping before you're launching your business on a different level. Those are great months to do that. Fantastic months to do that. And also, March is good too. March is good too. So first couple of months of the year, just like, again, just work like clockwork on your vision. Start putting yourself out there more in March, and May and June are very prosperous for that. I really like next year, and then I do feel even the year after that, like the success of the business will just go up. So really good and really good decision, really good investment, and into so next year's 2024, and then 2020 in 2025, I feel like there's an immense, really good transformation within the business. Really, really good. Okay. So just heads up. You're in the right spot. I like it. I like the energy. I like your thought, your thoughtfulness with it. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I want to pull some cards. I'm in a card mood. Someone asking for, we gotta feel it, right? We gotta feel it. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I really want numbers," and sometimes I'm like, "I really want just to pull a card." Okay, Winona, I would love some guidance with my crossroads. My ancestors are usually very helpful. She gave me her numbers. Sure, I'll pull a couple numbers, but I'm gonna pull cards primarily because that's what I'm feeling. Okay, attitude 6, Winona. Personal day 6 as well. And then life path 8. So as I look at your chart for a second, this is going to be a little bit of a slower year because it's all about managing the home life, managing like a new schedule, a new way of life. Okay. So you're in the four vibration for this cycle. And so that's about uptaking knowledge, rearranging your house or, where you live. It's about kind of like getting steady and settled and going, this is who I am. This is what I've chosen to be. So let's get a little stronger within that. Okay. So you have to feel like right um, where you've placed yourself. You have to feel right in the environments that you've claimed. Okay, so that comes up very strong. You have a life path of 8. I'm gonna go into cards in a second. You have a life path of 8. So it's very important that you're in a career where you get to have some authority within what you're doing. You get to oversee people because eights are very perceptive individuals and they're perfectionists. And so what happens is you can't have someone overseeing you. You're gonna feel suppressed because you just want to make things better. Like your passion is just make things better. I we could do this better. We could do that better. Why not do this? Why not do that? This okay. And if you're not in a position where those ideas can be implemented, it gets very frustrating, and that's not a good place for your energy. Like your energy, you need to be in like management, or you have to have your own business. You have to have that flexibility and authority in order to be yourself. Um Okay. So I'm getting a card that highlights that you're going to need adaptability at this time. Okay. Sometimes when our life is changing and we're really going, where am I? What do I need to do? We have to change and we have to grow and we have to kind of lean into life. And take trajectories that are not just immediate. So this is a very like flowing and winding time for you. And while you are changing, you get to really put out those big questions. Okay, when do I stop it? When do I start it? And I say those things very like with duality. When do I stop? When do I start? Because you get to choose when you stop and you start. But sometimes life is going to be giving you those topsy turvy feelings. So I want you to adapt with the situations you've been given. And then when you find your grounding a little bit, go, okay, I'm stopping this and I'm starting that. Okay. Get into your power. Get into your power right now. Sometimes, right? We can't just stop things and start things. Sometimes we're entangled in responsibilities where we have to carry out things and see things out and they're bigger than ourselves, like with family or with things that we have taken on with responsibilities we have taken on. So fulfill those responsibilities, take on that energy, be there with the family, and then get get your feeding and you got it. Then you choose, then you manifest, then you get in your strength. Okay, so I'm pulling some cards. I'm just making sure if there's any comments though for a second. Yes, I'm going through all that right now. Yes, I do. This and so on. Yes, I'm starting a nonprofit this year. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, like that's good. I like that energy. Let me pull something for yeah, okay. So, yes. When anytime there's a cycle 4 and 5, what happens is there's a chance to put ourselves out there in a different way, and sometimes we need prep work for that. So we need like a slow and steady year. We don't need like too many things crazy going on. And we need to simplify. Okay. Sometimes like life is just crazy, but I do feel like things are gonna simplify and you're gonna like have mastery in making sure that happens so you can put your time and attention on blossoming the nonprofit and putting in your time to stuff that matters. Okay. So things will slow down, things will slow down. I do think last year was quite busy. I really do think, and so it's like it's gonna trickle down into these next couple of months, and then it's gonna kind of even out. So I want to give you just that. And it's letting go, to build a new start. At the end of the day, when you get a chance for it to quiet down, it's letting go to build a new start. And this is going to be difficult, but it's going to be incredibly empowering, because when you're on your feet and you're able to manifest this dream, this nonprofit, and other things that you're building, you'll be go you will be able to go back and help these people around you at an even huger capacity. So you have to take time out for you and learn the skills and tools so you can amplify what's really in your heart. And if you're just caught up in the mix, you can't do that. So validation within that, keep going forward, and just you're going to learn a lot about holding strong and putting some time and energy into your your creation. It has to have its space, time, and place in order to grow, so you can help others immensely. I really love it though. The card that comes for you is the opening light card. It was overwhelming for a minute. Yeah, and I do think it's going to have flavors of that still. I really do. I think the year is going to give you structure in that overwhelming feeling, and it's not completely gone yet, but it's a lot of like opening of light energy. I actually think like you're going to get immense help in your non for profit. I do think there's like other, it's like either other businesses or a person with like business knowledge. I don't know what it is. I just know that there's like actually help and support coming in for this non for profit. And so things actually will get off the ground easier because it's not just you alone. You do have help, even though like within the family capacity I feel like you have help too, but it feels like sometimes you don't have the help that you should. So I do think there's a lot of opening energy within the work that you're doing. There's a lot of good energy opening up within this non for profit and the other projects coming into play. Um, that's what I'm working on, finding me, making sure I'm authentic. Exactly. I'm working. Okay, cool, cool. Just keep going, keep going. I do think that this is as I'm looking, let me just, this is a very good year, actually. You have um, a cycle lining up that is in harmony with your life path. So for me, this is like, I actually do think that even though, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Last year was a good year, but it was just so busy. It was just so busy. And again, we're letting go of these overwhelming feelings. We're letting go of these overwhelming feelings. So just acknowledgement within that. But this year's really good. It's opening up confidence, opening up your power on a completely different level. And please be open to the help. Please be open to the help, because I actually think there's good people around you. I'm just gonna continue to say it. Don't do this on your own. Do not do this on lead the project. Lead the project. You have to lead the project. You have to be overseeing it, but let people help you. Okay? Let people help you. Um, okay. Yes, I have a lot of very accomplished people from different states helping and guiding me. Okay, well, just continue to let people help you, and just there's gonna be a lot of healing from that. Okay? There's gonna be a lot of healing from that. Like people actually have your back, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like that needs to be healed. I just feel like you came from a strong family unit, so it's not like there's this incredible wound over family units and people stepping up to help, but there's healing around people helping you in this capacity, okay? Within business and peers. Um, yeah. There's a lot of opening up light energy this year, and that's one of the best cards you can get. Yes, let's see. Yes, that's what I needed. I have a council of 20 to people that I consider overseeing all the projects for fair decision making. Heck yeah. And I just think you're gonna have some partnerships through that too as well. People working with you on a more like intimate level rather than the group. And there's gonna be a lot of healing around those concepts too as well. So just heads up, it's looking good, and just continue to adapt. And but you have to take some time to yourself to get your head clear for that. So just slow down life a little bit. so you can gear up. Okay. So, gosh, we are at the end. I am going to pull one card and we'll end it like that. I always do. So, Crystal, I'm going to pull a card for you. Okay, Crystal, I got the mediumship card for you. So, it's time to open up your skills, time to open up your gifts. It's time to know that this isn't something that needs to be scary. Just have fun. And ask for someone that will help guide you. So put it out into the universe, and you might type something into Google one day. You might be searching the internet, but that's going to keep you on your path going forward. It's the acknowledgement of the mediumship card needs to open up and come more forefront into your life. So the energy is sitting. It's going to pull itself more forward. All right. And then Winona, absolutely, Winona. Absolutely. Exactly. This is all about help and healing. And I'm immensely grateful that gave you some perspective, and hopefully too as well, whether with Crystal or everyone else that got readings today, it did highlight things within your heart and soul and within your mind to give you a perspective of your energy and where it's going and what it can be and who you are. So with that, I will see you next week for the reading show and also the interview series of the Psychic Hour. We'll be having Anita on, and she specializes in animal communication. She's a psychic medium as well, but she really connects to so many different types of animals. And I want to hear about her process with that and go into her expertise. So I will see you in a couple of days. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get into this January energy. With that, go with love, light, luck, and love. And don't forget to live, everybody. Take care.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.